Hello and welcome to a special presentation episode on Other Derana. Education is one of the few things in life that can genuinely change the direction of a person's future. It changes and shapes the way we think, the way we solve problems, and the way we connect with the world around us. With the world that is changing ever so quickly, education and the people who play a leading role in it plays a major role, and it is now important more than ever. Today, we are joined by someone who has spent his career at the heart of that mission. Professor Davis, Aibovan, and a very warm welcome to you.
Thank you.
Professor Richard Davis is the Vice-Chancellor of the University of Plymouth in the United Kingdom. He is a geoscientist whose work spans fundamental geological science, environment risk, and climate change. Alongside his research career, he has become a global academic leader, bringing together science, sustainability, and international collaboration. Let me begin with a personal question. You've worked across the industry, research, and now university leadership. What originally drew you into the academic world and eventually into leading a major university in the UK?
So I started off my career in the oil and gas industry, and I learned a lot about my subject area, geoscience. I learned about team working, I learned about delivering projects on time. But actually I felt universities have different values from commercial businesses. They actually are interested in bringing people together, creating life-changing experiences for students. And I found that far more rewarding than working in industry. So although industry allowed me to hone my skills and to become a more experienced person, I've felt that universities offer values and things for students and staff and change the world in a good way, and I wanted to be part of that, and that's why I moved into the university sector.
So the UK has one of the most established higher education systems in the world. In your view, what distinguishes the UK's approach to teaching, research, and student development?
So the UK has a long-standing higher education system. Some of the oldest universities are in the United Kingdom. And the UK government has instigated a number of ways of properly measuring the quality of what our universities do. So we have a number of exercises that measure this. We have something called the TEF, the Teaching Excellence Framework, which measures the quality of our teaching. And I'm pleased to say the University of Plymouth has a triple gold status. It's the best you can get in that measurement. So the government measures that. It measures our research performance, something called REF, Research Excellence Framework as well. So these, I think, check the quality of what we're doing is at the right standard. And I think that's important. And that's something that I think we bring to Sri Lanka, to our partner, NSBN Green University, helping them to also create new degrees, to create exceptional opportunities for Sri Lankan students to study here.
All right. So your research touches on climate risks from methane hydrates to environmental hazards linked to energy exploration. Sri Lanka is considered highly vulnerable to climate impacts. So what should countries like Sri Lanka prioritize, do you think?
Well, Sri Lanka is a small island developing state, and I actually feel that it's the more developed nations who have put a lot of the carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, created the climate change, have to take their responsibility. Sometimes some of the small island developing states, and Sri Lanka is one of them, by itself can only do so much. Unfortunately, what's happened over the last 200 years is we've set away an experiment almost of producing a lot of CO2 into the atmosphere. And that was done through the Industrial Revolution, etc. And so I actually think it's very difficult for small island development states to do this by themselves. They need the support. We need global agreements. That's what the COP meetings are all about. And the last COP meeting's just completed.
So talking about the universities and the programs, So, universities are expanding international collaborations and at a time of a huge global change. What, in your view, makes a transnational partnership successful and academically meaningful?
Okay, I think it's really important that you have a strong partnership. So our partnership is with NSBM Green University. It's taken a decade, 10 years, and it started off with a small number of students. My colleagues talk to the colleagues here in Sri Lanka at NSBM Green University every day of the week to make sure that the 4,000 students studying University of Plymouth degrees at NSBM Green University get the best possible experience. We make sure the curricula is the same. We make sure the standards are the standards we would have in the United Kingdom at our university. And remember, we have this triple gold status. That's really, really important, and we want students here to get the benefits of a British education but without having to leave Sri Lanka. So making sure you've got a good partnership, making sure the standards are as high as they possibly can be, and that's something we're really, really keen on, making sure that the quality of the experience of the student here is as good as they would get in the United Kingdom at the University of Plymouth.
So like you just mentioned, transnational education gives students access to global curricula while studying locally. So what advantages do you think this model creates for Sri Lankan students?
Well, the Sri Lankan students, it means that they have their degree on their doorstep. They don't have to travel to the United Kingdom. It's very expensive to come to the UK and study. Not everyone can do that. So this is opening up a British university degree to people who would have not normally been able to do that. We have our flying faculty, our academics fly here to teach the students. I met many of them last night at an event, and they showed me the photographs of the academics they've got to know. So every step of the way we're changing someone's life for the better. And I think by bringing the degree into Sri Lanka, we make it far more accessible. We have 23 different degree programs now, everything from nursing through to engineering, through to accounting and finance, whole variety of things that students in Sri Lanka can study at NSBM Green University, studying our degree.
So industries worldwide are evolving quickly, especially with AI, digital technologies and sustainability. What skills or mindsets should universities prioritize now to prepare graduates for the next decade of the future?
Yeah, it's a really interesting question. I have two boys, myself, a 19-year-old and a 21-year-old. And what I say to them is that they need to continue to get as much experience as they can so they are ready to go into work. So internships, really anything that shows that they understand the workplace, shows that they've got the transferable skills for workplaces. I would say to students, make sure that you are surrounding yourself by people who challenge you. Make sure that you're not always in your comfort zone. Make sure you're getting as much experience as you possibly can. So take up those internships. Make sure you're building your network. And I think you've then got to be determined and enthusiastic. And when you get knocked, because you will get knocked, pick yourself up, go again. That's what I say to students, including my two boys.
Brilliant. Now, artificial intelligence, design, healthcare, these are fields with massive global demand. How does Plymouth and the universities in the UK in general prepare students for a career in the future?
Well, we do all sorts of things. We have a mentoring scheme, for example. So we have students matched up with businesses, which helps the students understand the place of work. We encourage internships. We help place students into businesses. So all sorts of things can be done so that students are ready for work. I think one of the biggest things is that there's many jobs of the future that today don't exist. So I think flexibility and being able to retrain, be an independent learner and move into a new career is really important, because the old idea that you move into a job for your entire life has probably gone.
With that, we'll take a short commercial break. Stay with us for an insightful conversation. Welcome back. Now, Professor Richard Davis, as a Vice-Chancellor of a leading university in the UK, what excites you most about the future of global education, and what directions do you see partnerships like this taking in the future?
Universities are all about understanding different ways of life, different cultures, and bringing people together. And that doesn't mean that students will always come to the UK. It might be very difficult for that to happen. So working here with NSBM Green University is just an example, but a very important example of how we can work with universities around the world and bring students together, bringing our lecturers over to Sri Lanka to teach students here who wouldn't perhaps normally get the chance of studying a British degree. So I think it's called, this whole type of project is called Transnational Education, TNE. And I think TNE has a huge opportunity to continue to grow because it allows students in country to access fantastic level of education which perhaps wouldn't be affordable normally. So we want to grow that. We want to expand the number of courses we teach with NSBM Green University, moving into hopefully medicine, expanding law and health sciences. We want to help the university do that. We believe in these sorts of projects because they change people's lives.
So as you just mentioned, the range of programs offered are quite wide, from business, computing, engineering, sciences and many more. How do you ensure that these programs stay relevant to this fast-changing world?
Well, if they're not relevant, what happens is the students don't study them. So we are constantly looking at what the market needs. We're listening to governments, we're asking our academics, we're doing market research, and if the numbers start to drop, you can see that they're no longer attractive. So we're constantly saying what is the latest development we need to bring in and changing our courses, and that's a process that we bring into the university to make sure the courses are as relevant as possible. And if they become unrelevant, then we'll lose the students. And at that point, you have a problem. So we have to be demand-led. We have to listen to what employers need. We talk to employers. We carry out market research and make sure that the programs are appropriate.
Now, this collaboration has grown over the years. And what, in your view, makes this relationship so successful?
It's a fantastic relationship with NSBM Green University. We have nearly 4,000 students. We've built that over a decade. And it's fantastic that NSBM Green University has won the National Quality Award. And we have a triple gold status in the UK for our education. So we really are excited about what we can continue to do with NSBM. I know they're just moving into phase 2 of their expansion and growth, and we want to support that, moving into health sciences and also into growing law, and also, I believe, in the future, looking at medicine as well. And that's the sort of discussions we're having with Professor Weerasinghe, who is the Vice-Chancellor at the university.
Now, for a Sri Lankan student studying a Plymouth degree at NSBM, what kind of global advantage does this offer and what experience does it give them?
Well, these students have now got an international degree. They will have been taught by academics from faculty from the United Kingdom at a university that has triple gold status for its teaching. And this will mean, I think, those students will have a better international understanding. They will understand how the subjects are taught according to the level that we expect in the United Kingdom. I think if you have a CV saying University of Plymouth, NSBM Green University, that will give you the edge above not having an international degree. So I think this gives students different perspectives, a better understanding of British education, the standards we deploy, and it really welds and meshes really well with NSBM Green University.
If you could elaborate a little bit more on the courses that are offered.
We offer around 23 different courses, and I can't list all of them here, and I won't try, but everything from computing, law, nursing, psychology, engineering disciplines, lots of different things that are relevant. Almost, I mean, not everything that we teach in the University of Plymouth, but a very good range of what we teach in the University of Plymouth is also taught here, and we're hoping to expand it with NSBM Green University in the future to bring the best that we can offer through our gold status with NSBM's proven credentials. They won the National Quality Award recently.
Your research touches on climate risks, from methane hydrates to environmental hazards, right? And so Sri Lanka is considered highly vulnerable to natural disasters. What do you have to say about that?
Small island developing states generally are. They are susceptible to horrendous, dramatic weather, and it's very sad to hear what happened recently here with flooding in Sri Lanka. I've been to small island developing states in the Caribbean where one storm can wipe out the island for 15 years. The infrastructure has just gone. The environment, weather systems have more energy than they used to have because of climate change. And so places like Sri Lanka, but other small island developing states, are vulnerable to climate change. It's a proven fact that climate change is taking place. It's because over 200 years we've released a huge amount of CO2 into the atmosphere. It's a greenhouse gas, and it's putting new, higher levels of energy into weather systems. And that's what we've just seen evidence of in Sri Lanka very recently. So it's important there's international agreements to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. It's great to be working with NSBM Green University. We also are ranked in the top 100 universities in the world for our sustainability. So you're really marrying those two things together. Universities by themselves won't change the challenges, the climate challenges, but we can certainly raise them, we can make sure people understand them, and provide solutions through taking CO2 out of the atmosphere, putting it underground, finding cleaner ways of generating energy, electrification, using hydrogen. All sorts of things can be done. Universities are often the starting point for those sorts of technologies.
What does it mean to be a university that is green?
Well, for us, it means that we've done everything we possibly can to reduce the carbon footprint of all of our activities. So the emissions are split up into Scope 1, Scope 2, Scope 3. I won't go into those. But you can make your own electricity by having solar panels. You can create heat and electricity, which we need to warm our campus, using biofuel. You can try and encourage people not to drive to work, to use public transport. So these are the sorts of things we've done at University of Plymouth in the UK, and it's a contribution. It's not just a contribution, but it's also signalling to other businesses, if we can do it, you can as well. So it's incumbent upon us all to set high standards around sustainability and to push ourselves. It's an expensive thing to do. Often you can get the money back though, because you've now got mechanisms for generating electricity which just use the sun and don't require you to be buying it from a third party.
Perfect. Now, many young people worry about the future of jobs and the job uncertainty. What message would you like to share with them today?
You need to be flexible and agile. You need to be willing to retrain, to take different routes. The job you think you're going to be in may be different in the future. Build a strong network. Make sure that you're constantly challenging yourself. Make sure you use your university best you can. Try and get as much experience as you can. Internship experience is fantastically important. My two boys, one of them's 20 years of age, one's 21. Both at universities in the UK are constantly applying for internship opportunities. And these will differentiate them from other kids and show that they're ready to go into work. And that's what people need to do. You won't get the first job. Well, you might do, but you might not. when you're knocked, don't be worried about that. Come back. Keep going, basically. Be determined.
Now let's talk a little bit more about the partnership with NSPM. What does the University of Plymouth bring to Sri Lanka?
Well, we bring our degrees to Sri Lanka. So 23 different degrees at undergraduate level. These are quality assured, so they are checked regularly for the quality. And in the UK we have an exercise that looks at quality. We have a triple gold status in what is called the Teaching Excellence Framework. So we have that solid, very strong educational offer that we can deliver here in Sri Lanka.
So you speak often about curiosity, exploration and connecting with the community. How important are those values for a student entering this complex world?
Well, that's a huge question. How important is curiosity? It's totally innate to us as human beings that we are curious, that we want to understand things. But I hope universities, and I believe actually, universities ignite curiosity. The journey of discovery. An 18-year-old looks down a microscope for the first time and discovers something. That excitement about discovery is the same excitement that the professor gets from discovery. That joy of discovery, driven by curiosity, is the same joy. So an 18-year-old looking down a microscope for the first time and a 50-year-old professor, it's the same experience, and it's something that once you've caught the bug, it never leaves you. So curiosity is innate to university education, and it drives us. It drives us to keep discovering, to keep asking questions, to keep learning, whether you're in your 50s or whether you're an 18-year-old.
Professor Davis, thank you for sharing your insights with us today. It was indeed a pleasure hearing your expertise and perspective. And for our viewers, thank you for joining. We'll see you soon.